What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right, guys. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you about modern formats and the battles being played right now. We're going to look at some of the data, but more specifically about with the Pro Human League coming in. I know there's a lot of disappointment with Battle Helper not being included in one of the things that's being combated, but I still believe that this is going to be a huge net benefit for the game and for those who want to play and participate in Modern League. So what it comes down to, right, is at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, right? How many accounts are dipping into the pool in Modern versus how many accounts are dipping into the pool in Wild. And even though the announcement was only made yesterday that this is coming in about a week, you can see here that the shift has already happened, right? So if you're looking at the battles over the last 30 days, in fact, you know what, let me make this easier. Over the last just 14 days, you can see like the red here is the total battles, but blue is Modern battles and purple is Wild. And you can see that blue or Modern has been the majority of battles, or at least higher majority of battles over the last couple of weeks. Again, if we extend this out to last month, 3 months out, you can see that blue has generally been higher, except for the last couple of days. Wild is starting to overtake it, and you can see Wild is starting to overtake it significantly, as probably a lot of these botting accounts have moved over to Wild format. So, yes. Does it suck that Battle Helper is not going to be included? It does, but I agree actually with where the team is coming from. They're trying to stick to the letter in terms of what the proposal was looking to do and accomplish, and that was to remove automated playing. And in a sense, it's already done a lot of that. Now, obviously my account is still botted using ArcMage, and I'm sure many others use Splintermate or XBot, but it sounds like a lot of those services are going to be playing ball, and they won't be allowing the token holders, whoever it is, to bot their accounts in Modern. So we'll probably see a lot more even shift out of Modern and into the Wild format. So once again, Battle Helper is still going to be something that I personally find still somewhat anti-competitive, right? Granted, if it's in ranked, it's like anything kind of goes in ranked. So I'm not as concerned about it. It's more so whenever there's like higher level competitions. So when it comes down to, though, is if you're playing in these other levels, no matter what league you're playing in, the number of battles are going to be reduced, meaning that there's less accounts dipping into and farming these reward pools, and each league has its own reward pool. So I wonder actually what bronze and silver are going to look like if a ton of the bots are leaving there. And then of course, my account is being botted in Modern Diamond, and there's a lot of accounts being botted at the champion level and in gold. And again, these are using like the higher level bots, right? So ultimately, if we start to see those removed, and you have people who, even if they do choose to use the Battle Helper, they still need to go in and find the time to play their 24 battles a day, I think we're going to start seeing human error and life and all this other stuff start to happen where people may not get to all of their battles in a single day. Maybe they come in and, every 2 days they play all 50 battles or something like that, right? But again, it's going to make it so that the reward pools in Modern, in my opinion, should be rising significantly. And we're just at the point now, we're not even quite there yet, but we're going to get to the point soon where we're feeling the full effect of the SPS staking requirement. Because if you remember, it's just like the SPS pools operate on like a 15-day rolling average. So that went live on the 6th. It's only the 18th, so we're like 3 days away from that. And then a couple of days after that, right? That's going to be on Friday. And so 4 days after that, we're going to get another monumental shift where a bunch of accounts are just going to stop playing in Modern from an automated perspective. And therefore, people like myself, I'm actually excited to start playing in Modern. I'm probably going to get my butt kicked a bunch, which again opens a question for, well, is Battle Helper going to be something that is not just like, a part of the game, but something that's almost required? Because it's like, if everybody's using it, you're almost at a disadvantage for not using it. And Darkest Night's a big fan of this, so shout out to him. Maybe we'll get his opinion on it. I know he's been trying to get me on Battle Helper for a while, and it might be one of those things where it's just like, okay, well, if I'm going to join and all the people playing are using it, well, maybe this is something that is just going to be the norm until and unless we can find a way to remove Battle Helper. But if you remember, I had Siler from Xbot on the channel a while back. So shout out to Siler. You know, he talked about it. He said he'd play ball, whatever it is, but it's like at the end of the day, you can't really stop Battle Helpers as a concept. So I'm actually okay with the team taking this route. I think ultimately, if the reward and earnings are higher, you know, Battle Helper, you don't always win, right? Like you don't always get the best hand or best whatever. So I think there'll be a lot of opportunities. And even if all of a sudden, like, you know, maybe I had a higher, slightly higher than 50% win rate before, maybe if that goes down to 50%, maybe even if my win rate goes down to 40%, but all of a sudden I'm earning like 2 times, 3 times the amount of SPS, like just with the SPS staking rewards, my earnings went up like 2 to 3x, right? From where they were in Diamond to where they were at now. So if all of a sudden we can see that increase again, somewhat, you know, well, maybe linear, I don't know if it's linear or exponentially, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's just, you can see the amount of battles being played is going down significantly. So even just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, on the 5th, there was 341,000 battles played in Modern, 342,000. Yesterday, there's 144, right? So that's less than half of the amount. Granted, these are probably all happening in a lot of the lower levels, lower leagues, but still, we're going to see a fundamental shift where this is probably going to go even lower, because if you have to actually be at your computer playing, I wonder what that's going to look like with the amount of players that we have. And I think it's going to show, hopefully, in not a terrible way, but like a glaring, like, hey, we really only have this many real players actively playing the game and able to log in throughout the day. And hopefully it'll be enough that match liquidity won't be an issue. But if it is, that's something that we will have to deal with and see and move forward with. But ultimately, I'm very, very excited for this. I want to see how it rolls out. And because of all the effort that's been put in, because of all the community angst and anger and all this, I hope it is more than successful. And again, my threshold for success isn't very high. It's just like, if, as Weirdbeard said, like if they can remove 50%, he's happy. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, if you can reduce the amount of battles being played by 50%, that's going to be awesome, because, you know, it's not perfect, but if everybody's rewards go up by 2x, that's amazing. So obviously that's not a clean analogy, because it all depends on where you're removing the accounts from, but you get my point. Ultimately, if it ends up being a net positive for the game, for the ecosystem, I think that's a huge win. And here's the deal, right? Maybe a lot of the gains, a lot of the increases are at the lower levels in bronze and silver. Well, there you go. All of a sudden, new players have this incentive to come into the game. If anything, even we will have the incentive to go and start playing our alt accounts, or getting scholars to start playing our alt accounts, right? So we could get into a very interesting situation here. And the scholar thing is something that I just kind of thought up off the cuff, but I'm going to give more time to that, because, you know, that is something that made Axie quite popular. And if all of a sudden we start to see success there, and it's just like, hey, bronze is paying out a tremendous amount, we could see the scholar, movement or whatever it is start to come in strong again. But that's all I have in this video for you guys. Just wanted to share that I'm still quite bullish on this and hopeful and very optimistic, but I understand if there's a lot of hesitation or frustration because battle helpers would not be included. But you know, we'll find out in a week, maybe a little bit more. But that is all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.